Hi, my name is Barb Nangle. I'm the founder of Higher Power Coaching and Consulting. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole, Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery. Welcome to the bonus episode on Coaching with Barb. Today, I'm going to do something completely different, which is why this is a bonus episode, because I know that some of you look forward to each week and the episodes which give real experience, strength, and hope for your recovery. Today, I'm going to interview one of my coaching clients so you can hear firsthand what it's like to be coached by me. If you think that my podcast is helpful, then you would likely find private coaching with me helpful as well. At the end of the episode, I'll say more about how to do that. So now I'm going to introduce you to S. S, welcome to my podcast. I'm really grateful that you're willing to be interviewed and to share with the audience your experience of being coached by me. So let's start with a little bit about who you are and why you decided you wanted to work with a coach.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's hard to explain who I am. I am an artist, I'm an architect, and everything in between. And I wanted to be coached by someone who would be able to understand how I need some help, like accountability, and some kind of nudging towards the goals that I set for myself.
Okay. And why me in particular as your coach?
I have met a lot of other people. I have had opportunities where I could make that relationship with someone else. But I guess when you see the right person, you get a feeling that this is the person who understands what I need and, more importantly, what I don't need. So I saw that in you. We casually met. We were not introduced to each other as if we were going to make any sort of relationship together. We met in a different setting, and over there, talking to you, I realized that this is a person who would be the right kind of accountability coach for me. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I didn't even know that you were a coach. So I guess, you resonate that. I later found out that you were, and at that point, I was like, oh God, my lucky day. So then I approached you for that.
So can you say a little bit more about, like, you got this feeling from me? Can you think of anything specific about me that you think might have caused you to have that feeling?
I felt like when we were talking and it was pretty random. I was explaining some kind of trouble I had with a coach or like a coaching partner kind of friend. And you asked all the right questions. And from that, I felt as if this person understands, just like I said, more importantly, what I don't need. Because in that conversation, you also mentioned that it seems like you don't need this. And I was like, oh my God, someone understands that.
Good. That's
I think
helpful.
that's what took it forward.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So now that you have been working with me for a while as a coach, can you articulate some things about working with me that really work for you?
Yes. I think the most important thing is that you accelerate whatever I want to do. You accelerate that process for me. Mm-hmm. And you totally give the choice to me first. Like, do you want me to do this? Like a choice, which mostly I say yes to, that of course I want that. But you know exactly when to intervene if it's not going the way I wanted it to go. But there have been times when you knew when not to say something, and when it's getting so complicated that maybe I will fall apart if pushed too hard. So there's a very delicate balance in doing that, and I'm really glad that you understand that.
Can you give a specific example of something that was accelerated from working with me?
There are like 2.5 things every week. Okay, so hard to pick one thing out, but it's like I would say like I know that I'm an anxious person. I know I've had difficulties with binge eating, and a lot of times when I'm having the binge, I know that I'm not hungry. And I also know that I love urban sketching, I love drawing, and I know that that takes my anxiety away. It's the perfect thing to do and feel great. And I still have trouble starting processes, and that's one of those processes. And we got a start when you suggested that how about we do this for 30 days. You know, it's easy to make a commitment for 30 days. And that was after knowing you for several weeks. I know that I can trust you. I can tell you that, you know, I failed today. I couldn't do it today, which happened in the beginning. And I told you. And deep within, I felt right that I'm telling the truth about it. And I felt responsibility to do it more the next day. And then the third day was better, and the fourth day was great. And it sort of became a habit of doing something like that and showing it to you. Maybe that could be an example, right?
Great. So just to be clear for the audience, what you're talking about, the commitment was to do an urban sketch every day for 30 days.
Yes.
As a way to allow yourself some pleasure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To do something that really feels good and that allows your creative process to go forward.
Yes.
Okay.
And along with it, I also wanted to stop eating at the end of the day at 8 p.m. And that could have caused a lot of anxiety, but this took up most of my mind, and that became something secondary, and I stopped feeling much about it.
Great.
Yeah.
What are some of the results you've gotten from being coached by me, other than what you've just mentioned about stopping the eating at 8 p.m. and allowing yourself to do these drawings on a daily basis?
The most important part of the coaching sessions with you, I would say, is that I don't have an inhibition when I come in. What will I say? Should this be about work only? Should it be related to my profession? I just start off at everything that was bothering me the past week, or anything that hindered me in any way in the past week. And we start talking from there. I would say, and I'm sure you know about it, that you are a great listener. And not only that you are a great listener, because some people can listen and they don't know the response. You mostly have a response. And I think the greatest benefit has been talking about whatever was going on the past week. And as a result of it, you always have something like a suggestion of reading a book, or going through something like a podcast or something similar. But I'm surprised that it's always about something that I was already going to do. It's about the direction I am taking. So you kind of figure it out and you tell me something in that direction. I don't have to change my direction to do whatever you have suggested. I never had to change any direction for that.
Great. So I bet you know the thing that I want you to talk about, which is the contract that you got. I would love for you to tell people about your Ababiel and the first contract that you got.
Yes, I'm still kind of in the initial stages of being on my own, forming a brand name, trying to figure out what is included inside the brand name. And Ababil is just one suggestion for it. Like it's like a one concept for it. I'm still working on developing the concept, but it was a great help. Like, when your mind opens up, when you are kind of free of the troubles that happened last week, I think then you start thinking and then you move forward. And then whatever concept in your mind was like suppressed, it develops and takes the form of whatever you want to do with it. And that's the process that Ababil or whatever I want to do right now is going through. It was tough getting the contract signed of a project that I want to do, because you see, for the client's point of view also, since I'm new, they want to see that I know a lot of things, okay? So they take longer. They don't always take that long, but they want to know that whatever, pages of contract that I've brought forward, I know about them and if they are protected. So I had to do a lot more explaining that people generally have to do in getting anything signed by a client, and that can be very frustrating. But I'm glad that you were there and I could discuss many things about it. Most of those were like fear of saying that, what, this can't be erased from this contract, because deep inside me was a fear that if I say that, they'll say, okay, we won't sign it. But that never happened because we discussed it. You gave me a lot of points why I should never stay away from saying anything like that. Mm-hmm. And you were absolutely right. They have to know that I'm a professional. Mm-hmm. And no professional would do that. No professional would erase certain lines. That is the whole reason why the contract is there. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I want to make it clear to people we're talking about, you got a contract to be the architect for someone who is designing a home. Can you say a little bit about what's unique about this home?
There are many things that are different about this home that could be about any other. There's a certain cultural association. The family is from a culture that is not really very known into the society of most architects. And I would say they chose me because they thought that I understood the culture, which I do. And even then, they were not really thinking that I would understand it to the level that I do, because I myself live in that culture as well. And when I explained to them that, what, I can understand that you would want this and that, their faces lit up and they were like, wow, you got it. Plus, they have certain other ideas, like they want to have open spaces more than usual. They want their bedrooms tucked away more than usual. They also want areas where they could have floor seating and having some kind of event over there. So plus the land that they have is very flat, and the basement cannot be something that opens up to the backyard, which I'm working on to make it feel as if it does. Mm-hmm. So
great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're able to approach your work with that client much in the way that I seem to be able to approach my work with you. That's what it sounds
I hope
like.
So.
What has been the most important takeaway for you from coaching with me?
I would say that before starting this process, I was very clutched, and I always wondered that should a coach be from the same profession as you are? Should a coach be older than you? Should a coach be younger than you? should a coach be a man or a woman? And this and that. And the list keeps on going if you keep on thinking about it. But I think you should, the moment you get a chance, you should just like start with it. Like I met you and we started this relationship. And I think the best takeaway is that we started it. I think, if I have never started all of this process, I wouldn't be where I am right now. There are so many things that have been resolved. So I would say for me, start is the most difficult part. And I think I'm glad that that happened.
Yes.
And you made it easy.
Yeah, beginning is often the hardest thing to do. So what kind of a client do you think I would be best suited to work with? And I know this is just your opinion, but I'd like to hear what your opinion is.
I think you would be suited to a lot of variety of clients, but if I were to suggest, it would be someone who has difficulty starting processes.
Okay, starting processes. All right, great. And is there anything else that I haven't asked you about that you would like the audience to know?
I mean, we covered most of the things. The only thing I would say is that if someone is like meeting a coach, like I think they should just give it a try. There's no other way to figure out whether they are suited or whether you are suited to a client that you are meeting. I think I would just suggest to them that they should give it a try, because I think you can handle a lot of different situations. And it's very difficult when someone is in the need of a coach. They often might feel that nobody understands them, but I think they should give it a try, because you are like one of those people who has met so many kinds of people. And maybe they haven't, like I had not, resolved problems of so many kinds of people, but you have done that in the past, and I think you are really well suited for it.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it for today. If you like what you've heard here, then you just might be interested in private coaching with me. If that sounds like you, head on over to my website, which is higherpowercoachingandconsulting.com, and click on the contact menu. I'd be happy to schedule a consultation with you to help you make lasting changes in your life, like I've made deep, lasting changes in my life. My ideal client is someone who is ripe for change, but I'll coach anyone who wants to be happy, joyous, and free. So if that's you, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can be sure to get future episodes of my podcast. Thanks again.